First episode of my post-workout rambling sessions. I just decided to do this kind of on a whim. It's something that I'd like to do every week. We'll see if I can get a couple in a week. I don't expect this to be something about working out all the time, not necessarily about fitness all the time. It's really just about whatever is popping up in my head, which may or may not be important to everybody else, but things that I think about and that maybe other people think about as well, and maybe it'll help some people along the way. And since making this content is one thing that scares the crap out of me, the first thing I'd like to talk about is vulnerability, because making this and putting this out to where people may or may not watch it, whether it's one person, 0 people, 100 people, I have no clue how many people will end up seeing it. It lays yourself out there for other people to see, and sometimes, well, most of the time that's scary, which is why most people don't like public speaking, because it puts you out for people to see. It allows people to judge you and allows people to possibly make comments about you that you don't necessarily want to know that people are saying, although you don't actually know that they're saying it. You just assume that people are saying stuff about you because something is out there. So if you're someone who doesn't like to go up on stage and talk in front of people, generally speaking, you go up stage, you talk about something that you're passionate about, and you say most of the things that are on your mind, but you probably don't say all of the things that are on your mind and really express how passionate about it you are, because other people have opinions as well. And the fact is that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with what you say. So instead of throwing yourself out there and allowing yourself to be who you are and say what you believe, you say what you think people kind of want to hear. You give your opinion a little bit, but not too much. So instead of throwing it all out there so that people see you for who you are, you kind of cover it up a little bit so that people don't judge you. This is part of your body's natural just fight or flight response. So whenever you get into a situation that you're kind of scared of, you kind of hide away and run away from the situation. And that's what part of what vulnerability is whenever you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable in whatever situation it is, it's just hiding yourself away. People do this in relationships, they do this in their business, they do this in every situation that you can think of. In relationships, people don't necessarily let themselves be who they are because they're scared of being judged, and that's all vulnerability. When it boils down to it, vulnerability is really just scared of being judged about who you are and what you believe. So really just being able to go out and let yourself go and let yourself be who you are and let yourself be seen, instead of worrying about other people judging you and other people watching you and keeping their eyes on you. You should really just allow yourself to let things go. I think that's why a lot of people have trouble getting started with fitness, is because, well, number one, the fitness industry is set up a little wrong in my mind. Whenever you have big fitness centers, their whole goal is to get as many people in there as possible, so they don't necessarily care about the person and care about your results and how you get there. They just kind of want to get you in there and get going. So that initial step is the first issue. The next thing is people are generally worried about being watched. So you go into the free weight section, or if you actually venture into the free weight section, which most people don't, women in particular, don't venture into the free weight section because they're scared of being judged for doing something wrong. So you pick up a set of weights, you start doing something with the set of weights, you think that people are staring at you, when in fact, most people, especially in the free weight section, are more worried about themselves than they are worried about what you're doing. That's what keeps people from actually getting results, because of being scared of being judged, because of vulnerability. Let your vulnerability go and allow yourself to be judged. It doesn't really matter what somebody else thinks, because you shouldn't allow somebody else to control your actions and control who you are. If it's keeping you from losing 20 pounds, then why in the world does it matter what they think? Whenever you start a diet, which again, diet is an awful thing because diet means short term. Whenever you decide to change your lifestyle for the better, people around you want to judge you, because I believe it's mostly because they are not confident in themselves and being able to make the change. So they have a little bit of jealousy that you're deciding to make the change. So they decide that they have to make fun of you, because instead of you having the pizza and beer that they're having, you're having chicken and broccoli, which is a terrible example because that's very bland and boring. But you making the decision to have chicken and broccoli instead of pizza and beer shows them that they can't do it. So you have to allow yourself to be you and not be who this person or that person wants you to be, and just let it roll and just let it be. And that way you can live your life not saying, well, I could have done this and I should have done that, and it would have been great if I would have done this, all for the sake of trying to protect yourself from some judgments and some criticism. So let yourself be vulnerable, let yourself go a little bit, and hopefully you can get a ton of results because of it in your personal life, in your health, and whatever it is. If you have anything that you want to hear or have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in a week. Thanks. Have a great Monday.